Fabulous. Well, good morning, Neighbourhood Watch Queensland. Woo! Congratulations on your 30th birthday. How exciting. And to launch Neighbourhood Watch Week today with your 30th anniversary, absolutely sensational. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an interactive presentation, so whenever I say, what are you going to do? You're going to go, stay safe. Got it? Okay, it's not hard. Let's do a little trial run. Ready? Now, Neighbourhood Watch Queensland, what are you going to do? Stay safe. Woo! Go you guys. Fantastic. You're naturals. All righty. Here we go. We're good to go. We put together this, oops, let's see, which way do I point this? Oh, here we go, we're in business. All right, so 30 years, what an incredible accomplishment. Let's nail it for the next 30 years. What I'd like to share with you is a little bit about what Neighbourhood Watch Australasia does, so you've got a little bit more of an understanding of the projects that we work on, and we try to work on things at a national level that are of benefit to Neighbourhood Watch groups in Australia and New Zealand. So one of the things we do, we work on the community funding program. We've got 5 federally funded government projects, and I'll talk about funding a little bit further on, but for the last 26 months we've been working on 5 federally funded projects. One of them is the community funding program. And if you look at that really big segment in yellow up on the screen, that's the amount of money over the last 26 months. We've run 2016, 2017 and 2018, 3 funding programs. And you can see how much of that was given to Queensland. That's that really big 40% yellow part. And people say to me, of course, I'm a Queenslander and how come so much money goes to Queensland? Well, I'll tell you why, even though I'm very proud of Neighbourhood Watch Queensland and I love you guys not only because I'm a Queenslander, but of all the stuff that you do. The reason that Queensland gets so much money is that you put in more applications than any other state. So just by the sheer weight of your activity and the number of things that you do, you actually get rewarded by having a greater chunk of the pie. Here's a few quick snaps. You might even recognise a few people in there of people who've been awarded with community funding program applications. One of the other things that we do on our project library, we've got a thing called the repository of information. So a lot of the projects that you do get recorded on the repository of information. So if you go onto our website and you look at Project Library, you can actually see projects that have been implemented nationally, not only in Queensland. So if you're scratching your head thinking, what can I do in my state, what can I do in my suburb, in my group, and you're looking for ideas, if you go onto the website, you can actually see what other people have done. So it might give you some ideas on what you can do locally. And that's just on the Neighbourhood Watch Australasia site. The other thing that we've done, we've run 6 community information days. So what we've tried to do is target some hotspots around the country. This year we've done a community information day in Alice Springs and also in Townsville, because both of those are pretty well known for youth crime and problems in the community. And so we had a whole day of guest speakers and invited the community and businesses to come along and see how they can actually make a difference and what crime prevention measures they can implement. The other area that we work in is culturally and linguistically diverse. That's pretty good, really. I always try practicing that in the car on the way down so that I don't fumble over it. But basically, it's brochures that are designed for people where English isn't their first language. So they're very simple, they're highly illustrative, with very small amounts of text. We've dealt with a whole heap of multicultural organisations, including the Queensland Police Multicultural Unit, and we've got feedback from Neighbourhood Watch Queensland State Office, and we've developed these new brochures. So they're all in different aspects of keeping yourself safe, how to protect your car, protect your home. There's a little one about how to be a good neighbour, how to join a neighbourhood watch group, and just being safe generally in the community. One of the other projects that we've been working on is we work with vulnerable people. So we find communities, remote communities, and we've been working in some Indigenous communities up in Arnhem Land. So we've engaged with a school, and we've been able to provide the school with support resources for truancy. Now, some of the schools in Arnhem Land report 23% school attendance. It's incredible when you go there. There's small children, 6-year-old children who have a perfect track record, go to school every day. Suddenly they stop coming to school on Friday. And this is a true story. The teacher says to them, "Where were you on Friday? You've missed Friday the last 3 weeks." And they go, "Oh, Friday's my gambling day." And that's a 6-year-old. So imagine how entrenched those habits are by the time they're a 20-year-old. So we get engaged with these schools and we provide them with resources and information on the value of coming to school. We've got a lovely young man who's the mentor for the program, an Indigenous man who's just qualified as a Aboriginal community police officer. And so we provide resources. This school that we're engaged with actually gets 70% school attendance, which is fantastic. So we've put our backing behind them because we know they're getting some really positive runs on the board. And you might recognise some familiar faces. I believe this was taken at the conference last year. Inspector Les Bullis and Ranger Stacey. So she was our guest speaker last year. So the journal is supplied free of charge to all neighbourhood watch groups in Australasia, Australia and New Zealand. So if you'd like more of those, we're allowed to print 10,000 in our contract. Currently we give away about 7,000. So if you'd like more, if you want to get a stand, put it outside your Woolies or outside your local supermarket, put it in the old age home, there's still more available. You can also get it on subscription. One of the ladies that'll be speaking this afternoon is Michelle Maguire. And Michelle's put together, as part of the community funding program, Michelle's put together an 8-series training session for Facebook. So you can go onto our site and for free you can log on for Neighbourhood Watch and you can actually learn about how to set up Facebook, what makes a good post. Michelle will talk to you about that later today, but just letting you know that the link for that is on the NHWA website. Another thing that we do is we produce a booklet that goes to grade 10 schools, and it talks about all types of things that grade 11 and grade 12 kids are going to, once they leave school, enter the community, what they're going to be facing, how to buy a car, what happens when they leave home, drugs, alcohol. These books are great. It talks about bullying, everything that kids are going to face in communities. So if you'd like more of those, once again, please let us know or let your state office know. The 2018 Neighbourhood Watch Australia award winners are going to be announced soon, so I hope you've nominated the key people in your groups who actually, there's no one in this room that shouldn't be nominating. These awards are fantastic. They recognise the amazing work that's done nationally. So the awards have actually closed as of the 28th of September, but please bear in mind, I know it's a bit of a pain filling out the form, but it's absolutely wonderful recognising. And these are our two winners from last year, Senior Constable Amanda Dorman from Bundaberg and Gayleen Miller from Riverview. And that's around the Ipswich area. Oh, hello. She's here. Lovely. Congratulations and lovely to see you again. Okay, partnerships. One of the partnerships that we've engaged with is the Australian Federal Police. And the Australian Federal Police provide us with a program called Think You Know. Now, if you're looking for an activity or something to do with your group, with your community, with your school, they will provide you all the training, all the literature, all the presentation material, so long as you can do 3 a year. So the Think You Know program's all about cyber safety, what kids do online, how parents know what kids are doing online. So once again, if you have an interest in that, all you've got to do is do 3 a year to qualify, and they'll do all the training, give you all the notes, preparation for that. Queensland Police, well, we all know that without the police, there is no Neighbourhood Watch. It's the combination of community and police together that actually gives us the strength and the integrity of the program. So without QPS, Neighbourhood Watch Queensland simply wouldn't have the power and the presence in the community, and we certainly thank the QPS members here today and all the ones that aren't here today for the incredible effort that they put in. Measurement. Now, this is something I'm incredibly passionate about. This is something we can do a lot better. Here we go. Neighbourhood Watch Queensland. This is a little bit of a snapshot of what you guys look like. Over 400 groups, 170 plus online members, 20,000 plus 170 online groups, 20,000 plus online members, and I believe that's just in Cairns, so imagine how many there are across the state. And then 10,000 traditional members. This is fantastic. Let me just show you. 30 years ago, there was a policeman in Queensland and they used to do all the work on their own. Then there was a Neighbourhood Watch person. 30 years ago, Neighbourhood Watch started. Now, Neighbourhood Watch have grown. So there's 10,000 plus Neighbourhood Watch members across the state. Do you know that there's only about 12,500 sworn QPS members in Queensland? Does anyone know that? That actually means that you guys are almost a 1-to-1 ratio with QPS. So it's a shame Commissioner Stewart isn't here, but he said a fantastic speech this morning, encouraging, challenging. But you know what? Commissioner Stewart doesn't have the budget to hire another 10,000 people to have eyes and ears in the community. But you, Neighbourhood Watch Queensland, are those 10,000 people. There is no way the government could afford to fund another 10,000 people, double the numbers of police. But as far as frontline people in your community, in your street, that's where Neighbourhood Watch Queensland plays an incredibly powerful part. And this is where the strength of Neighbourhood Watch is. It's that collective efficacy. It's the connection between police and community. And Neighbourhood Watch are in that middle, in that crossover area. So what collective efficacy is, it's the strength of knowing your neighbours, watching out for each other, that you're actually more powerful as a group and you're a lot more courageous as a group because you know that Jim across the road will look out for your house while you're away, or if you've got a problem you can ring Mary down the street and go, oh, I think there's someone, you know, looking a bit suspicious, or you can call Neighbourhood Watch, you know, state office. That gives the whole program the strength that it actually has. Funding. Well, as at the end of September, Neighbourhood Watch Australasia doesn't have any more funding, but we do have a funding application in for the next 2 years. Funding is something that we really need to look at differently than what we have done in the past. More self-sufficiency. This is where we're heading as an organisation for Neighbourhood Watch Australasia. We need to think about it a little bit differently. How do we set up, how do we become more resilient, think about if you're raising money and you've got surplus, well then maybe there's groups in Queensland that could actually do with a bit of a hand. You know, there's groups in Queensland that struggle to pay their trailer registration. So if you've got surplus, before you send it off to other organisations, maybe contact Neighbourhood Watch Queensland, the group, the state office, and just say, oh, you know, we've got a couple of $100, we can share that. And then just working together a little bit more as a team, but also planning for the future. We don't want to be reliant and desperate for funding like we were this year in Queensland. The people that fought so hard to get the funding, oops.
One, two, three, four, five. We'll go to handheld, if you don't
Lovely.
mind.
I can do that.
Until we get the other situation sorted out.
All right, fabulous. Lovely. So we don't want to be in that same situation again that we found ourselves this year. Mark Ryan, absolutely wonderful. We couldn't have a, you know, as far as the representative from the Queensland government, a lovely police minister, so incredibly supportive and dedicated, loves Neighbourhood Watch, works well in his community. He fought hard to get that funding for Neighbourhood Watch Queensland. A true credit to him and the Queensland government, which is absolutely lovely. But we need to think bigger than that. We need to think, how can we become self-sufficient? How can we actually, in 3 years going to go really quick, it's going to go like that. We need to think, where are we going to be in 3 years? Where are we going to get our funding from? And we need more visibility. Anyone know who this person is? This will see who pays attention, who watches television. No clues? It's the Invisible Man. We've got 10,000 volunteers out in the community, but we need to be seen more. They need to hear the Neighbourhood Watch name more, because the measurement that I was talking about before and the visibility of the group, do you know what that equals? That equals $signs when it comes to funding. It actually means that there's more funding available. Okay, anyone know who this is? Oh, very good. Okay. So, and basically the simple message that I want to say with Winks is make every post a winner. If you're out there working in the community, and I know you guys work hard, I know the itineraries that you run, the stands that you run, the community activities, you're out there, you know, sweating, heat, rain. I get it. You know, I see your articles, I talk to a lot of the members. Make every post a winner. If you're having an event, make it the best event, get the best publicity out of it, let people know that Neighbourhood Watch is alive and well and out there. And we're going to grow this little baby of an organisation. We're just spring chickens at 30. We're going to keep going and pump this right through. Has anybody seen the TV commercial that's been running at the Gold Coast leading into Neighbourhood Watch Week? Has anyone seen it on TV? Oh, what a shame. Never mind, I've got one here to show you. This was prepared earlier. So this is another thing that Neighbourhood Watch Australasia is doing. We're looking more about the publicity of Neighbourhood Watch, getting it out in the community, getting it out what they call above the line, so that people who aren't in our groups, don't follow us on Facebook, actually hear about us. Let's hit it with the video.
I am Neighbourhood Watch.
I am Neighbourhood Watch.
I am Neighbourhood Watch.
I am Neighbourhood Watch.
We are Neighbourhood Watch.
Get to know your neighbour and participate in community events. It's about crime prevention and building safer communities. Neighbourhood Watch. Be part of the solution and protect what's important.
To find out more, contact Neighbourhood Watch Queensland.
And that's what we want to do more of. Right, now, the big question is, what are we going to do, Neighbourhood Watch Queensland? Stay safe. Oh, come on, that was a bit of a slack effort. You weren't prepared, were you? No, they weren't prepared. You were nodding off. Okay, ready? Neighbourhood Watch Queensland. What are we going to do? Stay safe. Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much.